Hello, Cancer. This is your tarot reading for the dates of July 23rd through July 29th. Welcome back, all subscribers. Hello, new viewers. We've got a wonderful, insightful reading in store for you. Cancers, wonderful Cancers. You are wonderful people. Okay, so we've got the Dreamer card here crossing us in our environment. And remember, the dreamer or the fool, but I like the word dreamer because it's people that dare to dream, that succeed wildly beyond their wildest dreams. And this Fairy Tarot card deck by Doreen Virtue and Radleigh Valentine, we have the fairy, and she is making her way up along the trail of her life. She's sojourning along the path of her life. This is the monument called Tor, Thor, that they resurrected in Blotsonberry for Archangel Michael. And this suggests that she's on her path, that she's walking along her path. And this card is instrumental for people that just don't do things like everybody else. What is that great quote about history, women who dare to, it's not called history, it's not herstory, it's called history. But it's like the people that dare to dream are the ones that make history. It's not the people that plod through life, yes, confidently, but without any vision. And the fool does things like they have the courage of their convictions, they are enthusiastic, they are starting their journey, so they don't have anything weighing themselves down. They're carefree people, charismatic people. They don't ask people for their advice before they take off on their journey. I mean, there's so many movies that are made, you know, that people root for the character in the movies about that they have the courage of their convictions to mount any obstacles and just walk their path with pride. So that's a good card to hold for the environment. The Ace of Coins cards talks about how anything that you create now is going to pan out beautifully. It's like the beginning stages of a project where you're working really hard to the goal, but it's going to pan out beautifully. It's a really good card to see in a reading. I always enjoy this card. And if you're creating a relationship, or you're not in a relationship and you want to create one, this indicates that it's going to be a well-grounded relationship, but full. Like the word autumn, what do you think of autumn? You think of somebody who's rich with knowledge, but also enjoyable, like full-bodied. So that's what the relationship, if you're beginning a relationship, it's going to be a full-bodied relationship. It's not going to be a hit or miss kind of thing. Yeah, very successful project, happy outcome. Could be promotions, new job, but promotions. But everything is going for you beautifully. But you're working hard for it. The Ten of Wands cards talks about, this is what you've came into this reading with, talks about the need for delegation, because there's so much. And this card, let's talk about the card, then you'll get an idea. We have the fairy, and she's laden down with her burdens, and she is not rewarded for her efforts because she's wearing the clothes of a servant. You know, they're not pressed, and they're not clean, and they're not ornate clothing. So she's definitely not being rewarded, and she's just overwhelmed. So you definitely need to delegate whenever possible. It could be that you're putting too much strain on your body. So you might be considering going from physical activity to something less stressful. Or if you don't, yeah. But she's asking her other fairies to pitch in and help because she's just overwhelmed, overladen with her burdens, and she's not being rewarded for her efforts. And that's good advice for everybody. Whenever possible, delegate, delegate, delegate. Now the Nine of Winter card and the Nine of Swords talks about how you're, maybe, Cancer, you're obsessing about something that happened to you in the past, but you're blowing it out of proportion. You're making molehills, mountains out of molehills. You're not giving yourself the benefit of the doubt. You know, your anxiety is just growing and growing with no place to go. You don't want to internalize this kind of anxiety as it creates dis-ease. So maybe you're just going to have to stop being obsessive and enjoy being obsessive about problems that are nagging you, and you're just going to have to give yourself the benefit of the doubt, because it looks like you're one of those people that gives other people the benefit of the doubt. So you're going to have to be your own best friend here and not create from worry and anxiety as what we visualize is what we bring into manifestation. And you don't want to worry or obsess. If you're obsessing, it's going to manifest things that you do not want to manifest. So you're just going to have to learn how not to worry, come from a standpoint of a learning situation, and maybe you're going to have to learn how to laugh at yourself. And if you really think that you did something terrible that you deserve, now then, you know, maybe people are actually, there's negative response or negative media associated with something that you did in the past. You're definitely going to have to learn how to let it go, because we create what we think. And then Knight of Swords, this is, rash decision is not going to work in our favor. So maybe you're obsessing about something, so we're going to make rash decisions that are not grounded and beneficial to us. So we need to slow down. And the Awakening card here, or the Hangman, does indicate that you've learned that you need to slow down and not act rashly. As the Hangman, this reminds me, I have to, forgive me for any person that thinks, Jerry Maguire, the movie Jerry Maguire, that's the Hangman. He had an epiphany. He wrote a mission statement. He was coming from a place of wanting to create money and decided he didn't want to exploit his the professional athletes that he was representing. So he decided to go to a grassroots environment. And he did this because of, he said, a bad pizza that he ate. But basically, he had a dream about how he was treated, how he was neglected as a child, and he didn't want to create that. He saw that he had become the person that he didn't want to be, that he was exploiting people for money. So the Hangman decides that's not in his best interest, that he wants to make changes, he wants to slow down, reinvent himself in a new way, in a way that people probably, quite frankly, are not going to understand, that he's not going to get validated or a gold star or a gold medallion for doing things his way. But so be it. He's going to be on his path, and he's going to do things from integrity. And it's not going to be a popular decision. Knight of Swords, again, here we have a fairy, and it looks like he's riding a white ferret, and I don't know what other, a white squirrel animal. Oh, I know what it is. It's like a minx or white, like a ferret, but like a mink. And he's riding a white mink, and he loves the ride. It's fast. It gets him where he's going. He's enjoying it. But then, what is it worth it? Is it worth running in rashly, because the reaction to what he's doing isn't going to be a good one? So slow down. Don't act rashly just because. Don't act in an react kind of way. Don't react. Just slow down. It's probably not going to serve you. And the 10 of, again, the Ace of Autumn is where you're coming from. So know that any relationship that starts in this space is going to be a fulfilling one, a full body relationship. It's not going to be like, what was I going to say? It's not going to be a shallow relationship. It's going to be a full-bodied relationship. Also, anything that you're creating, you're working hard and diligently now. So it's just the first glimpses of what could be. But you know that if you work diligently, that whatever it is that you're creating, that is going to be well received. So keep going with that. And again, the Fool card, this is a person in our environment. This is a person who acts in a manner that is not of the norm. He acts not irrationally, but it's more like he's moving to a different drummer. He's marching to a different drummer. He's not allowing the status quo to decide where he's going. He's going to accept his new project or new path, or stay on his path, because he knows that he is definitely on the right path. He knows where he's going. He has the courage of his conviction. She has the courage of her conviction. And she knows that it takes a special kind of person to step outside their comfort zone to create something magnificent. So that's the energy that the Fool. But what I like about this card is the Dreamer. Dare to dream. You know, it's very few people that actually dare to dream and get out of their comfort zone so that they can create a life that of their wildest dreams. And that's a recap of this reading. And I know I'm going to look at it psychically to see if there's any other additional messages for you, beautiful Cancers. So yeah, with the Ten of Wands card, if you need help, please ask for help. Don't do everything by yourself, as it's weighing on you heavily. It might be weighing on you heavily emotionally or mentally. So if you need to seek out a professional to help alleviate some of the stress, please feel free to do that. Or prayer and meditation work. Ten of Springs card could also indicate a spiritual practitioner, somebody who is spiritual. Anything else? And I hear wise people do not listen. They march to a different drummer. They do not listen to the status quo. That's not really important here. The status quo is not important. It's like, it looks like you Cancers are leaders. If you are a leader, you can't listen to the status quo. So thanks again for being such a wonderful, and this was a wonderful reading. I had such joy doing it. I had such an honor being able to do a psychic tarot reading for you. And until next week, I wish you much love and joy. Have a great week, and remember to not act rashly and slow down, smell the roses, take your time, and don't worry, hang in there.